Good night, everyone. Thank you for your patience. um, we're going to start because we've been here for more than half an hour. And I believe in being punctual and being on time. So once again, thank you for taking the time and supporting this initiative. Thank you all for being here on time. We're going to start off tonight's proceedings with the national anthem. So if everyone could stand for the national anthem. Thank you. Could everyone please remain standing for a word of prayer?
All heads and close our eyes, please. Dear God and Heavenly Father, we give you praise and thanks that we have all arrived here safely. We ask you for your guidance in tonight's proceedings. Father, we ask that you take full control of this weekend's activities. Bless us all. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. Okay, let me take the opportunity to recognize all the specially invited guests tonight. We have at the head table Mr. Nate Bell, we have Mr. Wendell Moore, and Mr. Paul. I can't remember his last name right now. Paul May. So throughout tonight, we'll hear a few words from all of these specially invited guests. I'd like to also take the opportunity to recognize within the crowd the Secretary for the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs, Mr. Jomo Pitt, and the special invited guests from the Referees Association. Coaches, players, welcome. We are here to officially launch the Shaq Moore Classic. And your presence here tonight shows that you are interested and in support in developing youth football in Tobago and across the region. And for that, a heartfelt thank you and congratulations to you. Next on the program, we have a few remarks from Mr. Wendell Moore. He is the father of Mr. Shaq Moore, the namesake of this competition. So let's welcome Mr. Wendell Moore to the stand.
A pleasant good evening, everyone. My name is Wendell Moore. I am from Tobago. I am from Tobago. I am from Tobago. Guys, I just want to say thank you first for being a part of the Shaq Moore showcase. What this is really for is to try to expose kids and give them an opportunity to move forward or get their dream or proceed to the direction they think they want to do. Guys, we in the islands sometimes, we just don't get the opportunity, and we are trying our best to open that platform to give that opportunity, both Trinidad and Tobago. Guys, we would identify you guys on some of these platforms throughout this weekend, and it's something will be ongoing. Who knows, they will be videotaping, seeing exactly some talents and some areas that you might need work on, or areas that you might need to cut back on, whatever. But bottom line is, my son Shaq started just like you guys, and he was identified and handpicked by his agent over there, Paul May, who is a very close colleague of mine. We went to school together. I went on a soccer scholarship. He was there too. And I played with his brother too on another team. And his older brother told him to pay attention to Wendell Moore's son. And in some little tournament just like this, and as a result, he saw him 10, 11 years old at the time, and he told me, Wendell, I'm taking Shaq, or inviting us to Manchester in a tournament there, and from that, guys, he never turned back. Again, I don't know if it's the drive of playing against the so-called top clubs, because all the academies was there, the Liverpools, the Manchester, all the academies was there. And he really show out, perform. He even got into one of the guys' face as in regards to, showing strength, showing toughness, and they were happy for that. So in some of these cases, guys, play your game, try to be disciplined, try to be a sportsman, at the same time, show passion, show aggression, but conduct yourself in a certain manner, listen to your coaches, and think and analyze the game in the best of your ability. As Shaq and I and my family would say, sometimes when you're in a hard spot, you just talk to yourself, and like my family or my household, we have little mottos like, you train for that. That's part of the package. So, so when guys try to give you some cheap shot, like punch, sometimes they try to spit or whatever, take a count to 10 or whatever methods to stay calm, recuperate, and start the process again. Guys, this weekend, these gentlemen, along with some other devices, including when they videotape you maybe, they will be sharing it with themselves and other people, and it could help you in a lot of ways. So demonstrate your talent, work hard, and have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thanks again, Mr. Moore. We're moving right through the schedule. We're now going to move to Mr. Nate Bell. He's all the way from America. He has the largest soccer academy in Brooklyn, and he's here to share some of his insights and what he brings to the Shaq Moore Classic. Put your hands together for Mr. Nate Bell.
Okay. Great to see all of you here tonight, and really excited about the first year of the Shaq Moore Classic. Great to be here with great people that are doing great work organizing for the island, especially Mr. Hislop, Shaq McLetchie. Shout out to Mom there. The game of football, I have one main point. The game of football is a game that is a social game. You can't do it by yourself. You can practice by yourself, you can pass against a wall, you can juggle, but to develop as a footballer and develop as a person through football, it takes other people. So the work of bringing people together, that Mr. Hislop, Mr. McLetchie have done is what allows you guys to have a pathway and have a competition. If you're just training by yourself, you don't get to experience playing against other people. And I know that a lot of work was done so that people coming from different islands, Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent, other places, which is really exciting, and what a great exposure. I'm coming from Brooklyn, and I run a soccer club, and really honored that Shaq McLetchie is one of the leaders in the club. And my goal of being here is to learn more about Tobago football, and look at ways that our academy can help out. One thing is, love to have some people come visit us in Brooklyn. There are a lot of people from Trinidad and Tobago, not just in Brooklyn, but in our own soccer club, and there's some people from Tobago in our football club that have talked with Shaq and say, when do I get to go down and play in the Shackmore Classic? Because they heard about it. So I'm really excited to watch all of you on the field competing, showing what you got, going for the trophy, and also respecting each other and having a great time. And I hope that this is the first Shackmore Classic, and the second one, even more teams, even more fun, even more people coming from around the world, coming together around the game of football. And no better, more beautiful place to do it than here in Tobago with the best organizers that I've seen in the Caribbean. So, looking forward to a great weekend, and thank you all for having me here.
Okay, guys. We now move on to Mr. Paul May. Mr. Paul May is the agent that would have been instrumental in Shackmore being where he is today. He's going to come share some insights with you so that maybe you too can aspire to be where Shackmore is today. Mr. Paul May.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Islop. Thank you for inviting me down to the Shackmore tournament. I'm glad to be in Tobago. It's been a long time coming. I'm not just Shackmore's agent, I'm a very close friend of his father, Wendell. He's incredibly passionate about, aside from being just from driving in a vehicle and walking on the street, I feel like I'm walking with a celebrity here in Tobago. So he's clearly left an impact. Wendell for many years has been very passionate about developing the football in Tobago, and continuously expresses how much talent there is here. It just needs to be harnessed and organized. And Wendell has always tapped into me because of some of the resources in football I may have to help pursue that goal of his. And that's why I've come down. I've been telling Wendell I'm going to come to Tobago for the last 25, 30 years. So I did finally make it. I'm finally here. Those of you who are playing this weekend, I'm sure you're looking to hopefully, or sometime throughout your career get observed and identified and scouted. The one advice I'll give you, just this weekend is to just play football and enjoy yourself. As I don't move as fast as I used to, but I still play. I drive. I live in New York, and I drive to New Jersey to play twice a week just to have a kick around. So that's how much it is in me, and it does something else to you other than within your life, and it gives you a good personal feeling of satisfaction and mental therapy. So I would say just play your football, your kind of football, and enjoy the weekend. Everything else will fall into place. And I'm looking forward to meeting many of you from the different places that you've come from, and I'm making some connections and seeing where I can help or I can support, whether it be in the future coaching development, player development, infrastructure work. We can cover all those bases. So Feel free to stop by and say hello. Be ready to chat for a long time, because if it's football, I'll talk your ears off forever. All right, so I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again.
Okay, guys, we get into the interesting stuff now. If you have a schedule before you, you know that we're heading into the rules and expectations. And to come and give you some guidance as to how the game is going to be played over this weekend, I'm going to invite to the stage now one of the referee officials from the Tobago Referees Association to give guidance about this information. Put your hands together for...
Thank you. Good evening, all. Protocols observed. One slight correction. We are no longer the Referees Association. Okay. So most of the rules from normal football will apply, but of course there are some changes. So I'll just briefly run through some of the changes. Anything that you did not hear, the old or the normal FIFA laws will apply. So teams, officials, coaches, and teams must be on the field at least 5 minutes before the start of play. You will have flying substitutions, and of course you can make subs at the halfway period. Uniforms, all teams must be in their uniform, including shin guard, shorts, socks, jerseys. Most importantly, shin guard. For all free kicks, instead of being 10 yards away because of the small field, you'll be allowed to be 5 yards away. And instead of throw-ins, you will have a kick-in, which must be taken within 5 seconds. The referees will use their discretion, but we want it to be kicked in as quickly as possible. You cannot score directly from a kick-in. It must touch some other player. Strikers, forwards, no offside. But don't abuse it, because you have to help your team in defense, but no offside offenses. And all other rules will be applied. You are allowed slide tackles. I know in most of these small goal competitions you don't allow slide tackles, but you will be allowed to slide. Not to foul the opponent, but you can go down and get the ball. And most importantly, the referee's decision is final. And please, players, coaches, especially coaches, let us all show the game some respect. It will be televised. It will be going out to the world. It will tell the world who we are as a developing footballing nation. So let us show respect for the game, show respect for ourselves, and do enjoy yourselves. Fight hard, and I hope that at least one of you will impress the guys at the head table. Thank you very much.
Thanks again from the referee representative. Referees Department, no longer the Referees Association. Thank you for that very pertinent information. We're going to break from the schedule a little bit. We're going to have a very special invited guest coming to share a few words and insights with you. Please welcome to the stage the Secretary for the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs, Mr. Jomo Pitt.
This one. Good evening, everyone. To the head table, good evening. Good to have you. To everyone here, to the teams that are not from Trinidad, not from Tobago, welcome to Little Tobago. We hope your stay is memorable. A couple of things I wanted to point out. One, I want to thank Mr. Moore for again being part of this, initiating this
initiative. Very much appreciated. Throughout the evening, I was hearing the reference to Shaq Moore. And I'm pretty confident that most people here don't know who Shaq Moore is. I asked one or two and they weren't aware who Shaq Moore is. So I think it's very relevant that people have an idea who this person is. But let me give you a little history before. Most, if not all of you all, would have heard of Dwight York. Played in the Premier League, Manchester United, everybody knows his history. Many would argue he's probably one of the best players, if not the best player Trinidad and Tobago has ever produced. But a little history lesson. 10 years before Dwight York, there was a gentleman, a young man called Wendell Moore. And he was the benchmark for football in Tobago and in some cases Trinidad and Tobago. So many said that Dwight was the first. Like I said, the history lesson, Wendell Moore blazed the trail for many footballers, including myself, to try to follow in his footsteps. He really epitomized what a footballer should be, brought a level of talent, discipline, passion. All of us, particularly the coaches, I'm sure you all have players who have the world of talent, no discipline, no passion. And then you have the reverse, the average player who has the discipline, has the passion, but just don't have that talent to take it to the next level. Mr. Moore, regrettably, was just born in the wrong time, the wrong period, the wrong era, why he didn't go as far as Dwight. Wendell, Dwight, and there are a few others, a couple others, I won't say a few, a couple others, who had that combination of passion, talent, and discipline. And discipline is key. Talent could only carry you so far, and then you will hit a glass ceiling. So I implore you young players and coaches, please instill that into your charges, because without that, there's only so far they will go, and chances are they will not leave the island from where they're born. Having said that, Wendell, Dwight, and coming out of that, we have Shaq Moore. Full name, Shaquille. Correct, Mr. Moore? Shaquille is his full name? Shaquille. Full name, Shaquille Moore. A player in the La Liga, playing with Levante. So I want you to let that sink into you. He's playing in Spain, one of the top leagues in Europe. And here was a young man that was discovered at your age, 10, 11, that showed something that Mr. May and the other coaches in the other academies saw something in him that resonated on them. And that would be that same three that I talk about, the passion, the commitment, the talent, and the discipline. And the rest is history, as they say. One of the things I want to commend Mr. Moore, Wendell that is, that despite leaving the shores many years ago, he never lost that commitment to give back. And as a result of that, he now has this opportunity to give back to Tobago, but not limiting to Tobago, but to the entire region. Hence the reason the invitation was sent to teams throughout the region to participate in the first annual Shaq Moore Classic. It is hope that next year that Mr. Shaq Moore could be here. So you all have a chance to interact and have a one-on-one conversation with a professional European player to give you an idea, and then he could give you the roadmap as to how he got from 10 years old to be playing against Lionel Messi, among the others, and he's one of the best players in the world. I want to also add that I want to pledge the commitment of the state, the Tobago House of Assembly, in particular my division that I'm in charge of, Sport and Youth Affairs, to these initiatives. It only bodes well for the future of football on the island. I want you all, to the Tobagoanians, to take advantage of these opportunities, to the visiting teams. this will be an annual tournament. So it gives you an opportunity to get your charges ready to participate. And if all goes well, we shouldn't have these one in a million selection, but there has a definite roadmap that a kid will know, or a coach will know. If I get him down to the Shaq Classic in Tobago, there is a good chance and a good possibility that he may be scouted, he may be recruited to go further in his development. So again, I want to thank Mr. Moore and his team. I also want to make a special thanks to another individual who from Tobago that is key to this initiative, Mr. Shaquille McCletchy. On behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly, I want to really thank him for being one of the main driving force for this initiative. So on behalf of us in Tobago, the Tobago House of Assembly, the government, please, mommy in the back, please give a shout out and tell your son, Shaquille, better known as Tanti to all of us from Lambo, that we really appreciate what he's been doing, and to know that he hasn't forgotten us even though he's in the US, we really appreciate it. So again, thank you for everybody and all the best for this weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Pitt. I think we all appreciated your input tonight. Moving along the schedule, we're now going to have a vote of thanks from Ms. Makita Melville.
Good night again, everyone. I am saying thanks to everyone who came out tonight. We really appreciate all the teams who participated in the first ever Shapmore Youth Classic. Also, I want to say thanks to all our sponsors, namely Dominion Security and Appliances, Accra Rentals, Gatorade, Division of Sport and Youth Affairs, Ted Jones, Blue Waters, Tobago Sports Live. We really appreciate you all. Heritage Sports and our very own Nathan Bell, and also Dill Smiths, who all sponsored to this event, making it a success. We want to thank also all the persons who helped in any way. We are so grateful to you all, and we are looking forward to a wonderful weekend.
Okay, guys, I must say I'm happy with the way tonight has turned out. We have a full cadre of representatives, coaches, stakeholders, and we held a tight program. We started a bit late, but we held a tight program. And I believe in being tight with your time, because we all have things to do. And you guys have an early morning tomorrow, and you guys have to compete. So we don't want to keep you out too late tonight. It's almost 7:30. At this point in time, we're going to bring a close to the official part of tonight, but I'd like to invite everyone to talk to your comrades, talk to your coaches, get acquainted with the persons that are invested in youth development in football in Tobago and across the Caribbean. There's so much things that we could share that would make all of us better. So as we close tonight, I really want to, don't just enjoy the refreshments and run off. Come and talk to Mr. Bell, meet Wendell Moore. He is a living legend. Talk to Mr. May. You might get some insights as to what opportunities you could have to do more in football, not just within your club, but maybe internationally someday. Meet the other coaches. Talk to the officials. Make friends with them. They will be like calling against you or for you. Come tomorrow. So really get acquainted with everybody in this room. Enjoy the refreshments. And let's have a fantastic inaugural Shaq Classic. I see a hand there. Yes. Okay, as we having questions, I'll open the floor. If anyone else has any other questions, ask now, and hopefully we can answer them quickly. Going once, going twice. We will discuss this after. At this point, I'd like to invite all the representatives, well, at least I'm seeing many persons here. Send up about 3 representatives from each team. Let's have a group photo right here in front of the background, and then you can take your seat and you'll be served refreshment. So if everyone can, hold on, I see a question. The goal kick. Yes.
Okay, the rules that they would have sent is silent on those things. So once as they are silent on it, we are going to use FIFA rules. So, which is a goal kick, you can kick it as long as you want. Yeah.
Good.
So those that I read out are the changes they would have sent for us. So anything else, it will be normal football rules.
Any more questions? Okay, at this point in time, I'd like to ask representatives from each team to come forward so we can have one big group photo. And like the head table, I'd like you to be in this photo also. Invited guests, referee officials, and Mr. Pitt, and our very honored guest, the mother of Tanti. I'd like you to be in this picture also. Please come forward. Come. Come. Go down. Okay. Godard, come organize your shot.